Welcome to the City League Live Men's Tournament. It is 8 hours of playoff basketball today, and it all starts with Big Brothers Big Sisters and Pivot League in the first game of the day. I'm Andrew Garrison. Alongside me is Zach Browning. And Zach, we've got a long day of great basketball ahead of us. What are you most looking forward to in this game and the day as a whole?
Well, in this game, I'm looking forward to kind of the matchup of the guards. I'm looking out on the court. I don't see Dame Wilburn for Pivot League, but I do see Kaisia Washington. He's a stud. And then on the other side, the likes of Jerron Coleman, Hunter White's out there. I see a lot of talented guards, Jeremy Tyler as well. This should be a good guard matchup between both of these two teams to kick off what will be an excellent day of basketball.
And here's the tip-off to get things started. It is won by the Pivot League. That was David Merriweather in the circle. And Pivot League will get these starting with a left wing triple, and that one is just off the mark, rebounded by Josh Brewer. And back the other way, there's a whistle. Zach, did you see the call?
Was a foul. I think they're going to get that on the pass. Ron Coleman kind of spinning through the lane. I think they're going to get that on the pass. I am interested to see kind of what the intensity looks like of these games today. Obviously, this is the playoffs. We've been watching pool play all summer long, so I'm interested to see what kind of intensity level we get here and what level these two teams set the tone for today.
Well, here's Big Brothers Big Sisters for their first possession of the game, and here's the left wing triple from Jeremy Tyler, and that one's off the front of the rim. Rebound to Pivot League, and they head left to right. It's a redemption shot from Washington. That one rims out as well. Offensive rebound, Pivot League. Merriweather to Vaughn. Vaughn works inside, and Merriweather called for the travel, and we remain scoreless.
Did the right thing there, Merriweather, of keeping that ball held high in there among some smaller players, but just walked with it.
Up comes Jeremy Tyler. He finds Hunter White. White works to the top of the key. Good defense from Merriweather. Here's a triple from Brewer. That one ricochets. And once again, we remain scoreless. Pivot League seeks redemption. Here's Washington. Slithers and snakes to the cup, and he loses the basketball on a pass to Merriweather. He's frustrated. Back the other way. Big Brothers Big Sisters nearly loses it. Tyler, corner three. Off the mark and rebounded Pivot League. And we are scoreless through the first 2 minutes.
Andrew, I think both of these two teams probably a little bit tight. First game of the playoffs. It is a noon start as well.
Merriweather blocks the shot from Schmatz here at the Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. On the east side of Indianapolis, here's a triple from Washington. And again, off the mark, and certainly some poor shooting to get things started. Jerron Coleman runs right down Broadway, and he can't finish at the rim. Here's a steal from Hunter White. He's all alone. Is this the first point? It is. Hunter White scores for Big Brothers Big Sisters. 2-zip, 3 minutes in. Working inside for Pivot League was Merriweather. And now here's a triple from Edwards. Misfires. Jeremy Tyler pushing the pace. He finds Coleman. Coleman is stripped by Washington. Washington struggles to save it. He does. Harbor inside to Merriweather. He's fouled. Shot doesn't fall, but the first points for Pivot League could come at the line from Merriweather.
Kind of see maybe a little bit of adrenaline to start this game for both of these two teams. Already some hands on hips, already some hands on knees here. Those first 3.5 minutes can kind of take a toll on you if you don't control your breathing, don't control that heart rate early on. And so far we've seen an up and down, back and forth affair, and we'll see how that plays out the rest of the game.
Pivot League, the 4 seed out of 6 in the orange division. Big Brothers Big Sisters, the 5 seed in the black division, 2-2 and 1-3 respectively. Respectively. So some tough seasons for both teams. And the struggles are going to continue at the line here for Merriweather as he misses the first. And we've seen some frustration out of Merriweather throughout the game here. as he struggled to really establish himself down low, but he knocks down the second free throw. Up comes Jeremy Tyler. Works to the right wing. Here's Brewer in the corner. Lofts it for Coleman. Coleman back to White. Now Coleman chiseling inside. Kicks it out to Schmatz. A shot clock violation, and it looks like they had no idea.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to be in. The half-court offense has really struggled for both sides so far in this game. It's one of those situations where Coleman, he has his back turned to the basket. He needs some help from his teammates there. Somebody on the floor in purple has to recognize what the shot clock situation is there.
Here's a triple for Pivot League, and that one is a bullseye. So Pivot League will take the lead here 5 minutes in. Hunter White seeks a response. Passes up the three from the corner. Here's Brewer at the top of the key. And he is stripped. Pivot League transition opportunity. Washington gives up the easy lay and ends up stripped on the way back down. It'll be out of bounds, and it'll go back to Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Andrew, these are two teams that haven't really struggled offensively this season. We look at Pivot League, they're averaging 77.5 points per game. That's one of the top marks in the Summer League so far. And then 65.3 points per game on the other side for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Neither of these two teams have struggled to put the ball in the basket like we've seen so far today.
Merriweather is checked out of the game. Pivot League here with only 6. But the rebound will be grabbed by Edwards. Edwards works across the timeline. Kicks it out. Left wing triple. Rims out. Rebound Brewer. And here's a steal in the backcourt and then a block. So certainly some adrenaline, certainly some rushed hustle play. And it looks like a whistle on the floor, shooting foul. You saw the call, Zach.
Drawn Coleman, I think, there from the backside, got Vaughn on that shooting arm. So far, been a lot of points from the free throw line. Nothing really easy has come in the half court. I think the only 3 points, Andrew, so far in the half court was that three a couple of moments ago. Hunter White has a transition layup and then a free throw from David Merriweather as well. So not a lot of half court offense. Not sure if we can credit that to the defense, the offense struggling. We'll see as the game moves along.
6-2 Pivot League. Hunter White has the only bucket for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and here's a steal in the half court. That's great defense from Pivot League. And it slams off the backboard. Transition opportunity. Coleman doesn't have numbers. He finishes at the cup anyway. 6-4. Down comes Washington working against White. Beautiful spin up under and through. Great take for Pivot League, and they go back up 4.
I think we're seeing the recipe for success for both sides. They have to get to the rim, have to attack the basket. The jump shot's not really falling early.
Jeremy Tyler works left to right. Here's Brewer on the right wing. Brewer pulls up from 3. He had space, and he connects. And a worthy celebration from Jerron Coleman as well, as Big Brothers Big Sisters is within 1. And rimming out is the lay from Noah Jordan. And Big Brothers Big Sisters fails to retake the lead off of the Brewer take, but there's a foul, and Brewer will inbound.
We'll see if that can kind of get the lid off the basket, not only specifically for Brewer, but for the entire team of Big Brothers Big Sisters. This is a group that's playing without Josh Price today. He's with Fail Harder playing in the TBT tournament, the basketball tournament, with that $1 million prize. So no Josh Price today. We'll see how Big Brothers Big Sisters can respond.
Well, Schmatz is going to retake the lead. Right place, right time there. It's 9-8 for BBBS. Pivot League travels. That was Noah Jordan. And Big Brothers Big Sisters will take it back.
And that might be the spot where Pivot League focuses on. That might determine how successful they can be today, is that spot with Noah Jordan and David Merriweather. I'm going to assume that they'll probably flip-flop substitutions throughout the entire game, and how much success and how much productivity they can get out of that spot on the floor might determine how far they can go.
Tyler is fouled on the way to the rim, and that's a great point. I was just thinking, David Merriweather standing up now on the sideline, sort of looking up at the clock. And him coming back in would certainly provide more of an anchor offensively, but also more of a wall between the blocks defensively. And as you mentioned, Big Brothers Big Sisters has really had a great deal of success attacking the rim. It'll be interesting to see what difference Merriweather makes defensively when he re-enters.
Well, it's also just a fact of the matter that you know what you're going to get out of Kaisio Washington. You know what you're going to get out of guys like Deshaun Harbor, Hunter White, Rosario Vaughn. You know what they're going to give you. They're going to give you productive minutes. But that kind of forward rotation, as we see Jaquan Edwards go to the bench, of Edwards, Noah Jordan, and David Merriweather, what can they get out of those three players? Which two are on the floor at which points? I think that will be crucial and pivotal into the success that Pivot League has.
Tyler makes the first, but misses the second. Jordan pulls from three, golden. And Pivot League is back, and the energy has quickly heightened here in the first game of the day. Brewer to Dominic Washington, and now a three from Coleman. Just off. Rebound to Vaughn. Vaughn takes it himself. Can't finish, strong defense. Coleman. Beautiful pass, beautiful find, and a bucket for Jamison Smith. Big Brothers Big Sisters back in front.
And that's where Big Brothers Big Sisters is at their best. Ron Coleman's been one of the better playmakers this summer, averaging 4.5 assists per game, That's fourth in the league, and they're at their best when he's out there running the show.
And there's Jamison Smith again in transition, but this time unable to finish. Corner triple for Pivot League, similar result. And again, Big Brothers Big Sisters running the floor. Brewer left wing three, in and out. Rebound to Pivot League. Quick pace here as Vaughn can't finish. Quick pace and a lid on the rim, as you mentioned earlier, Zach. Makes for an interesting game as Coleman finally fires and finally hits. There's a three for Big Brothers Big Sisters. They're up 4.
And this pace favors Big Brothers Big Sisters. Pivot League wants to slow it down. You see Washington do that now. Washington wants to play that pick and roll game with David Merriweather. Merriweather hadn't made it down past half court the last 2 offensive possessions. He doesn't want to play that up-tempo game that Big Brothers Big Sisters does.
Off the glass and through is the lay from Jordan.
That's the game right there for Pivot League.
And Big Brothers Big Sisters can't finish on the other end. That's 2 straight for Jamison Smith. Deep three from Pivot League. Off back iron. Offensive rebounds. Size disadvantage working inside. And there might be an injury on the floor. That looks like Washington hobbling off and out of the arena here.
Coleman scored on the other end too. So a 4-point swing there as we saw Washington kind of lose his footing there momentarily. Don't see him right now. I think he's back behind the wall here at the Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. But he kind of stumbled after trying to spin around that defender. Just kind of lost his balance and immediately came up, kind of hobbled a little bit.
Not good to see at all for anybody to get hurt. But Kaisio Washington, 19 points per game for this Pivot League squad. This is a team that's played a lot of close games, and he's had a major role in giving this team the 2 wins that they were able to pick up during the season. Especially down 4, it'd be a shame to see him go.
And still haven't seen him come back. Not technically a locker room, but kind of just back behind the scenes here from our vantage point at least. Hope nothing too serious there for Washington. He's been fantastic all year long for this Pivot League team.
Pivot League will press on, playing with only 5 at the moment. Jordan misses the 3. Merriweather's putback goes. Burst of energy from Merriweather.
And that's the other thing, Andrew. It puts a lot of pressure on guys like David Merriweather, on a couple other guys on this Pivot League team. They're going to have to, if Washington can't come back, they're going to have to play this entire game. And in a situation like today where if you win, you keep playing, that could spell trouble as the day moves along.
I will say, though, the body language of Merriweather very much changed after Washington stepped off. He seems much more urgent on the floor. Jameson Smith, another opportunity and another miss. Brewer can't find the putback, but he'll go to the line. And I would say a burst of urgency across the board for Pivot League in these last couple moments. I don't know if you've noticed that as well, but.
Well, and that's another issue right there. That was Deshaun Harbor picking up that foul. Andrew, that's his third. He cannot afford to foul out in a game where they have no substitutes as it stands.
It'll be a hard-fought win if they are managing to come out with the victory here throughout the next 25 minutes of basketball, and then they just have, 2-3 more games today after this to put themselves in position to win a championship. So uphill battle for Pivot League, but we've seen plenty of crazy things happen in the city of Indianapolis on a basketball court.
And that's the thing that makes today a little bit special. There's so many teams involved in the postseason. If one team gets hot, if one player gets hot, anything can happen. Nobody is safe.
And with the running clock, I mean, the game just ends so quick. And one 40-point performance, 30-point performance, and it's just over. Smith again, his shooting struggles continue. And on the other end, the bucket and the foul for Deshaun Harbor. 3 fouls, but he draws one there, and he'll head to the line as Pivot League retakes the lead.
And this is what you would hope to see from a team in Pivot League. After one of your leaders, after one of your stronger players in Washington goes down, again, we still haven't seen him. We'll get an update when we can. But once you have a player of that caliber go down, you expect to be able to pick up the energy. You expect to be able to pick up the intensity. You're almost playing for him when it comes to this point. I know a lot of these guys aren't necessarily super close off the floor. They are close, but not exactly best friends off the court. But throughout the summer, they do get to know each other pretty well, and they do become close and form that bond as teammates throughout the summer. And I think that's probably what we're seeing here with Pivot League.
Rosario Vaughn connects from the mid-range. Pivot League's up 3. Tyler looks to change that, but a strong hand in the air from Merriweather redirects the shot. Tyler now, redemption corner 3, cash, and it's a tie ball game.
Three-pointer, Jeremy Tyler.
Still no sign of Washington. Pivot League slowed across the timeline. Certainly fatigue a factor. They'll appreciate the halftime break. And now Vaughn again from the mid-range. That was a low percentage shot, and it falls out of bounds and will head towards Big Brothers Big Sisters as Merriweather couldn't corral it.
And this makes the fact that Pivot League wants to play a little bit of a slower pace even more pronounced. Especially with 5 guys, and you look over at Big Brothers Big Sisters, they've got 3 substitutions, so 8 versus 5 as far as the roster size is concerned today. That favors Big Brothers Big Sisters, who does want to play a quicker tempo.
They can't connect from close range offensively. And here comes Pivot League. And a foul off the pass there. That one will be on Jamal Bridges. And inbounds on the way from Merriweather.
And as it so often does in basketball games, Andrew, I think this will probably come down to just whoever can impose their style of play and impose their pace more.
Harbor is stripped, but Pivot League gets it back, and Dominic Washington will be called for a foul on the take from Noah Jordan. So Pivot League will have free throws once again.
Jordan didn't start this game, but he's provided some very strong minutes off the bench here for Pivot League. Knocked down a 3. He's always going to be an imposing figure inside, but he's got those guard-like skills in one of the bigger frames we see on the floor right now.
Makes the first, and remember, running clock here at the City League. 22-21 is the score with 2 minutes left to go in the half. Certainly low scoring, obviously, as we've seen develop. So free throws impact the game in more ways than just the few points that are up for grabs, as both are knocked down by Jordan there. Here comes Coleman. Sheds Jordan. Flashes inside. Can't find the bottom of the net, and it'll be rebounded by Pivot League. Edwards outside, high to low, and fouled on the way. Big Brothers Big Sisters racking up some fouls as well.
And I think you're seeing Pivot League kind of impose their size advantage here. The three tallest, the three biggest players on the court all play for Pivot League.
And we see the weakened front court in action there as Noah Jordan puts it up under and through off the glass.
And it goes back to the fact that Josh Price not here, again playing in TBT. So no Josh Price for Big Brothers Big Sisters in this one. That's a big loss on the interior.
Dominic Washington draws back iron. Here's Harbor, high to low, off the glass and through. A beautiful take and a warranted timeout from Big Brothers Big Sisters. Also, Jacob Schmatz off the floor, Josh Brewer off the floor. Certainly a small ball strategy from Big Brothers Big Sisters, and it hadn't really worked there.
Yeah, Big Brothers Big Sisters is going to have to figure out the half court offensively. The defense, again, maybe struggled the last couple of minutes, but it's been the offensive struggles in the half court that has really plagued Big Brothers Big Sisters so far. They have to get out and run, even off of makes, even after Pivot League is able to get baskets. We can see over there on the Pivot League sideline, they're all sitting on the bench. They're all tired. This is going to be a long second half, a long day of basketball for Pivot League should they move on. So Big Brothers Big Sisters, Andrew, they have to play into their strength and the advantage that they have in this game, and that is in transition. That is getting out and running, forcing Pivot League to play at that pace. We'll see if they can kind of impose their will. Maybe not in the last 41 seconds of this first half, but at least in the second half of play. And again, we haven't seen Washington, Kaisio Washington, emerge from that locker room. So we're assuming that he probably won't be able to come back out here for the rest of this game for Pivot League. So that just makes it even more prevalent. You have to push the pace if you're Big Brothers Big Sisters.
And a lot of times we do see that sort of swing where late in games the team with the rest advantage starts to carry some momentum into the Elam ending. So on the other side for Pivot League, while you have energy now, rack up as many buckets as you can to take as big of a lead as you can. It's already up to 6 so that there may not be time for Big Brothers Big Sisters to work their way back. Tyler to White, top of the key. And now a 3. There was a hand on that one. It was from Jamal Bridges. And here's an opportunity for one last quality shot. And throwing it out of bounds is Noah Jordan. That was intended for Deshaun Harbor. So one last shot here for Big Brothers Big Sisters. 10 seconds on the clock. They're down 6. Bridges takes it up the floor. Here's White inside to Coleman. Whistle on the floor. Zach, did you see the call? Looks like an inbound. And there's not time. Running clock, and it shows itself there. Looks like it just fell out of bounds off of Pivot League. And then Big Brothers Big Sisters didn't have time to get a shot off on the way back in. So some intelligent defense if that was the heads-up play that we just saw.
Yeah, this will be an interesting second half. We've talked about it. The kind of theme of the game right now is the pace and who can kind of control that pace, who can play at their desired tempo here in the second half. It should be a good second half, a good final 20-ish minutes. Of course, we've got that Elam ending. Should be a good first game to kick off. It'll be an excellent day of basketball today, Andrew.
Absolutely. We'll take a quick break and return for the second half of Pivot League versus Big Brothers Big Sisters. Andrew Garrison alongside Zach Browning. Stick with us for the City League Live playoffs. Welcome back to the City League Live playoffs from Bonner Fitness and Learning Center. I'm Andrew Garrison. Alongside me is Zach Browning. Second half action on the way between Pivot League and Big Brothers Big Sisters in the first game of 8 today. Zach, we had a slow start to the first half. Some, intriguing events. What was your biggest takeaway from the first 20 minutes?
Well, and we should note slow as far as putting the ball in the basket. The pace was actually pretty high in that first half, and especially early in that first half. But the scoring was not. Let's just say that. The shooting struggles were stark for both of these two teams, neither shooting well from the floor. In fact, Big Brothers Big Sisters just 29% from the field. Both of these two teams, Andrew, a combined 5 of 24 from three-point range.
Astounding numbers. And we set up for the second half here. We, of course, saw Pivot League's Kaisia Washington stumble off into the locker room. So Pivot League playing with 5. And Zach, you mentioned to me, I'll give you credit for this one at halftime, that Pivot League also did play this past Wednesday, Thursday. So 2 days of rest heading into this noon o'clock game, now playing with 5 against Big Brothers Big Sisters, but they have a 6-point lead. Bridges to Tyler. Tyler knocks it down, and Big Brothers Big Sisters starts off in a major way here in the second half. Now the question is, how will Pivot League respond with the most rest they'll get in this game? And it looks like out of bounds off Merriweather. It will go back to Big Brothers Big Sisters. That's not a great start.
And how much can Merriweather impact the second half? That'll play a role as well. He's got the size advantage over everybody out there on the floor. Just 3 points. He's only taken and making 1 field goal.
Here's Hunter White. His jumper rims out. Comes Noah Jordan on the right wing. He relinquishes the basketball. Here's Edwards now. Back out to Jordan. Jordan, right wing triple. And it's rebounded by Brewer. Coleman passes up the 3 to tie it, and he's fouled in the lane. Did you see who that one was on, Zach?
Looks like Noah Jordan's going to be tagged with that one. That's his second. But again, I touched on it in the first half. Big Brothers Big Sisters is at their best when they put the ball into the hands of Jerron Coleman and let him make plays for others.
Tyler misses on the second three-point attempt of the half for him. We still see Schmatz on the bench, and this small lineup for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and Merriweather looks to punish just that. He can't twice, but does the third time, and Pivot League regains a 5-point lead.
Just padding his stats on that one. We'll give him that credit for a couple of offensive rebounds there.
Brewer to Bridges to Tyler. And now Coleman at the elbow, and his push shot draws back iron, and it's rebounded by Pivot League. And a blocking foul is called. That one looked correct to me on Noah Jordan's take to the rim.
I want to go back to the other end real quick. We do see Pivot League coming out in a 2-3 zone defensively to start this second half. I was a little bit surprised they didn't go to it earlier in the first. But defensively, you're just trying to look to save some legs, save some energy on that end of the floor. So you go into that zone a little less running around as opposed to man-to-man. So we'll see, A, if Pivot League stays in that zone for the rest of this game, and B, how effective it can be at limiting Big Brothers Big Sisters.
And I'm really enjoying watching Pivot League really fight and improvise and persevere. Really shows how much these players care about the results of these games here in the City League playoffs. 31-24 after the free throws. Tyler, another corner 3, and he's 1 for 3 this half.
Especially considering that Big Brothers Big Sisters hasn't been able to shoot from three-point range very effectively so far in this one. That only helps the cause for Pivot League in that zone.
And here's Vaughn. Great find from Merriweather. And Vaughn floats it up and through. And here's another steal. Pivot League doing a great job in half-court defense in that sense, but unfortunately it will fall out of bounds off of Deshaun Harbor. Big Brothers Big Sisters gets a second chance.
And credit David Merriweather in the middle of that zone. He's playing a little bit higher than most bigs in the bottom middle of that zone, and it's really forcing and disrupting a lot of those entry passes into the free throw line.
Bridges draws back iron. Be rebounded by Jordan. Jordan working inside, slithering and snaking to the cup, up, under, and good. And a timeout from Big Brothers Big Sisters. And interestingly to me, this small ball lineup on the floor, they keep chucking up threes and they keep missing.
And they haven't been able to get the ball into the middle of the floor. The ball movement has to be quicker for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Not only quicker, but a little bit more decisive as well. But again, still 15:53 left on the clock. We're nearing our Elam ending. And as this second half goes along, as the game wears on, Andrew, the advantage will continue to sway in the favor of Big Brothers Big Sisters just from an endurance and how much they've got left in the tank perspective.
Especially specifically, we've seen Jacob Schmatz on the bench for quite a bit of time now, the whole second half so far, and I would say most of the first. So when he comes back in, he's going to be some fresh legs as a big man as well for Big Brothers Big Sisters. So right now, to me, the key is if Big Brothers Big Sisters isn't going to hit their shots from around the perimeter, how much of a lead can Pivot League build up before they start to tire out? And what's even crazier is that they're just a couple hours away. If they were the winner of this game, is just a couple of hours away from another contest against an even tougher opponent. And the day continues from there.
Yeah, the winner of this game gets to play undefeated NBA Math Hoops at 3 o'clock, so not an easy game after this. So for either of these two teams, they're going to face an uphill battle. That's a good start for Big Brothers Big Sisters out of the timeout.
Absolutely. Hunter White working against multiple larger bodies to pick up 2 more. And now Merriweather is stripped inside. He falls to the floor. White to Tyler. Tyler corner 3. Ricochets. And the rebound to Jordan. Jordan's done a great job on the boards.
The team really as a whole for Pivot League has as well. It's not easy to rebound out of that zone, but they've not really struggled at all.
And here's Tyler. Kicks it out to Brewer. Brewer knocks down the left wing 3. And there's a big spark for that offense.
A massive spark off the bench. 5 consecutive points off of that timeout. And you already see a quick timeout taken by Pivot League. If Big Brothers Big Sisters is going to knock down their shots from three-point range, if they're going to hit threes, Andrew, that's big for them. That will help kind of draw Pivot League out of this zone. But I think the conversations right now over there on that Pivot League sideline in that huddle revolve around the half-court offense, because the defense, again, has been good so far to start the second half and really throughout the entire contest, but you got to figure out ways to consistently score more while not using a ton of energy effectively in that half court.
We'll see how the rest of the game plays out, and to put some numbers to the concept that we mentioned earlier, Pivot League in the first half out-rebounded Big Brothers Big Sisters 21-13, and I would imagine a lot of that is thanks to Merriweather down low against this small lineup. And we'll see the same crew step back onto the floor, it appears. Schmatz is still out. Dominic Washington still out. And Big Brothers Big Sisters, we'll see how much they can do here before the Elam ending in 11 minutes. Here's Harbor right wing. Harbor inside to Jordan. Jordan, he lays it in.
Andrew, how big has he been, especially off the bench in this game? Noah Jordan has been instrumental in this one for Pivot League, especially since Washington went out.
It's a great point, and that ultimately is, it's not so much about the player that you lose, it's about how much of that production you can replace with who comes in for him. And there is a 3 from the right wing. That was Edwards. And some impressive possessions strung together here. Big Brothers Big Sisters needs an answer. Here it is, Coleman. It's not there. Rebounded by Jordan. He's done a great job this second half especially. Jordan to Vaughn. Vaughn back out to Harbor. And now Edwards, right wing, deep 3. That one bricks. And a jump ball will be called in the backcourt.
And we noted that Big Brothers Big Sisters called that timeout earlier in the second, went on an immediate 5-0 run. Pivot League's done the same, a 5-0 run out of that most recent timeout. Now, I'd assume Jordan has the advantage here in this jump ball situation.
And they both jump the gun a bit there. Second attempt, and it is won by Jordan. Merriweather, though, had it bounced off his leg. That should be Big Brothers Big Sisters basketball. Heads up play from Coleman, and he will inbounds to Jeremy Tyler. Tyler to Brewer. He runs out of room. Coleman now, right wing. He works inside, high to low, and works past Merriweather for two.
And that's much better half-court offense. It's more quick. It's more decisive there for Big Brothers Big Sisters. The ball can't stick when you're playing against that zone.
Harbor top of the key. Left mid-range J, back iron. Rebound Merriweather, and he gets over Washington and hooks it in to restore an 11-point lead. And Brewer loses it. Pivot League transition opportunity. It's Noah Jordan. Who else? And he's fouled by Hunter White. That looked intentional. It'll be 2 free throws on the way.
This is exactly what Pivot League wants, Andrew. That clock keeps ticking. We get closer and closer to that Elam ending. And all those Pivot League guys that have played the last 16, 17 in-game minutes straight can kind of take a little bit of a breather now with Noah Jordan at the free throw line.
And to help the effort, Noah Jordan puts a point on the board on the first there. Excuse me, not quite. And he will miss the second as well. Here's Hunter White. He can't connect, but that was a heads-up foul on the other end, especially with both those free throws missing.
Andrew, I'm not sure if I'm Big Brothers Big Sisters, I might try and do something in that full court here defensively, try and just speed up this game. Right now this game is playing at a pace that Pivot League wants it to be played at. If I'm Big Brothers Big Sisters, I would think about turning up the pressure in that full court, trying to force some turnovers, getting out and running, and really using that man advantage you have over Pivot League.
It's a great point as Jordan is guarded by White. White looked for a steal as a whistle. And it looks like a foul on Hunter White. Will be a sideline inbound here. Will come from Harbor. Harbor into Edwards. Edwards to the elbow. Back out to Harbor. Merriweather inside to Vaughn. Great finds. And that connection between those two, although the layup, of course, doesn't go, has been incredible. Brewer can't punish the miss. Coleman gives him a second chance, but it's intercepted by Harbor. Harbor pushing the pace and throws it out of bounds, and that's a great example of why speeding up the pace of play favors Big Brothers Big Sisters.
I will note, we've talked about wanting to pick up the pace because they have a deeper bench, but Big Brothers Big Sisters hasn't gone too deep into that bench. We haven't seen a ton of Jamison Smith, haven't seen a ton of Schmatz in this game.
Washington, though, will step off the bench as he started the second half on it and knocked 2 through. So a 9-point advantage for Pivot League, but we're 5 minutes away from the Elam ending. And a tough stumble there. 2-on-1, Jeremy Tyler finishes. And here's some momentum for BBBS.
I think we might get a stoppage to clean up the spot where Noah Jordan just slipped on the floor, if I'm not mistaken.
See Dominic Washington communicating with the referee. Looks like she was trying to use the towel that he uses for his face, and he obviously had to stop her there. And we see City League player Maddie McConnell for the Horizon League stepping on with a mop to save the day.
Thought we might just get the good old shoe mop right there, where all the players kind of can join efforts and attack the wet spot themselves, but we will have the mop. Always ready to clean up the wet spot. But again, this is also, if you think about it, it's a small thing, but it does help and pay off in the long run. This is another break for Pivot League. A chance to kind of catch their breath and reset.
And it'll be beneficial for them to come out of this break with a quality possession here. Otherwise, Big Brothers Big Sisters might amass some momentum. And there it is. Harbor loses the basketball. Tyler on a little solo 4-0 run. And it's a totally different ball game now.
And that's fatigue right there. A player of Deshaun Harbor's caliber doesn't lose the ball that easily at the top of the key like that unless he's fatigued. So that to me right there, Andrew, is fatigue setting in.
Edwards goes high to low and is fouled on the way. Another break for Pivot League. More time off the clock on these free throws and the opportunity to score 2 more. This is a quality possession we were looking for. So Edwards will go to the line. Has made half his free throws so far this season coming into this game. And he makes the first here to restore a 6-point lead, and crucially could make this a 3-possession game. And in my view, Zach, when you get to Elam Ending, the Elam Ending portion, it's less so about points and more so about possessions when trying to come back into a game.
You're right. It's about the possession battle. Can't turn it over in those instances. You just got to be close enough to make something happen when that Elam Ending comes. That's what Big Brothers Big Sisters is hoping for.
Tyler, right wing triple, wide open, and a bullseye. That is huge if you want to talk about the possession game.
Can see another kind of factor of fatigue setting in. The hands, the activity in that zone defensively for Pivot League starting to slow down and falter just a little bit.
Here comes Edwards. He pulls from the free throw line. Big shot there. And the shooting struggles have been persistent throughout the game, but some of these clutch shots are going down for both squads. Here's another one from Brewer. That one slides off. And now here comes Jordan. Jordan into Merriweather. Merriweather hooks it over Washington. 8-point lead. We need just a few more minutes of high-quality basketball for Pivot League, and they'll advance. Brewer can't hit the shot. Rebound Washington. White to Tyler. White, great find for Coleman. Coleman can't finish, and it's a foul. Merriweather got a hand on the basketball and potentially a little more than that.
Pivot League David Merriweather whistled on his first personal. Second.
But again, another break and more time off the clock. Coleman misses the first. Big Brothers Big Sisters has lost 3 straight since picking up a win in the first day of the season. Almost a month ago now against Elevated Indianapolis, who we'll see in the next game.
We should note, Andrew, those 3 losses against 3 of the better teams we have here at the City League. They lost to Prudential, NBA Math Hoops, and Mambos. So 3 of the top 4 seeds, or 5 seeds, I should say, in the bracket.
The bucket falls and one for Noah Jordan. Again, critical possessions and some great successes on both ends as Pivot League looks to stay ahead.
And again, Andrew, Noah Jordan, he's been fantastic. Didn't start this game, but has had to play some significant minutes without Kaisia Washington. And Jordan has stepped up in a big, big way.
Jordan hits the free throw. Pivot League is up 10, playing with 5 here in the first rounds of the City League tournament. And Coleman is fouled on the way up, and that shot will fall. He has a chance to match the effort from Jordan.
It's a strong finish right there from Coleman. Looked like Jordan was trying to prevent that bucket. He was trying to foul intentionally and prevent Coleman from converting as well, but just too athletic there for Jaron Coleman, able to hang in the air just long enough to be able to flip that one in off the glass.
Free throw falls, so tit for tat here in the last couple of possessions, and this is a big one for Pivot League. The Elam ending looms. Here's Harbor, high to low. Beautiful take. It's 2 points on the board. And the next stoppage will create our Elam ending. And there's a foul, and that might be it. So it'll be 62. The target score for Pivot League. 53-44 the score now. First team to 62 is victorious. And if you don't get there first, your City League season is over. Here's White inside to Washington. Here's a good start for Big Brothers Big Sisters. They are 14 points away from victory if they can get there first. 16 points away from victory. So triple from Jordan. Back iron. Rebound Merriweather. He backs down Washington, hooks it in once again. That take has been flawless time and time again. Here's White, right wing. Tyler, high to low. Slithering and snaking to the cup. It's knocked away by Merriweather, but Pivot League's transition attempt unsuccessful. Washington. Big one rims out. Rosario Varn has it on the left wing. Remember, Big Brothers Big Sisters playing without star player Josh Price. And here's a triple that rims out. Rebound to Brewer. Brewer can't finish. White doesn't grab the putback. And here's Jordan. Corner three. Misfires. And Jordan with a steal in transition, putting all they have into this game and this opportunity to advance.
I think Noah Jordan just asked the scorers table how many timeouts they have left. They'll use one of them now. The fatigue really starting to set in for Pivot League, Andrew, but the end, it's in sight, just 7 points away from that target score.
And if they can hold it together, and you can see them all exhausted on the bench, if they can keep it pushing for 3 more possessions, 3 more buckets, it's over. But on the other end, Big Brothers Big Sisters, especially if they make substitutions, this is going to be a very interesting final few minutes.
I don't see Big Brothers Big Sisters going to the bench in this situation, but if they want to have a chance to win, they're going to have to push it in transition, get easy buckets, get some stops obviously defensively as well. But there is a path back into this game and to win it if you are Big Brothers Big Sisters. The blueprint is there. You just got to push the tempo and see how fast you can get play going in this Elam ending.
And a few transition threes falling would be beneficial as well. We've seen Coleman pass up a layup in favor of a 3-point opportunity a couple times. Big time possession here. Merriweather, size advantage. Backing down Washington. He's trapped, but that hook shot is just undefendable because nobody is as big as Merriweather right now.
The double came a little bit late as well. Merriweather shaking his head down the floor like nobody can guard him down there.
And he can guard everybody, it seems. Well defending Coleman that time. Jordan trapped. He finds Vaughn. Vaughn to Harbor. Harbor, bullseye. And a bucket away from advancing is Pivot League, playing with 5 and without their star player. Exhaustion on the side of Pivot League. Fear on the side of Big Brothers Big Sisters. Merriweather pokes away that shot. And Jordan pushes it a bit too far up the court as he's nearly run out of bounds. Brewer to Washington. Good closeout from Jordan. Coleman, left wing. And there might have been a hand on that shot. Offensive rebound, White. He can't hit. And Pivot League will slow it down for what could be the winning possession. Here it is. Harbor knocks it down. Season's over for Big Brothers Big Sisters. Pivot League advances. And they will play again at 3 against NBA Math Hoops. That was a great start to the day, Zach.
What an effort right there from Pivot League, losing Kaisia Washington, who we do see emerge from the locker room now, hobbling his way out to celebrate with his teammates. And that is a gutsy performance from Pivot League. Yes, they're going to have their work cut out for them against NBA Math Hoops in just a couple of hours. But to win that game with 5 guys after Washington went down with that injury, that's a fantastic performance, a fantastic way to get today started.
And we have 7 more hours of playoff basketball on the way. We'll take a quick break. We'll have you swap streams. This one will end. We'll create a new one in a few moments. For Elevate Indianapolis and USA First Financial, Zach Browning and Andrew Garrison, back in a moment.